So Tom Meyer, Superintendent of the Bellevue Community School District in Bellevue, Iowa, coming you with this week's Believe in the Blue update. Want to give you some quick information on the board meeting we had on Monday night, our comment highlights, which are posted online. That way, we had a resignation from Coach Doherty in boys basketball, basically a family thing and travel between here and Dubuque. He's done a very nice job here. It's just time for him to move on and wish him the best of luck and want to thank him for everything he's done for the program. A very good person, actually a great person, and he offered a lot to our school as a coach here, but also as a former athlete and former person in our community that way. Recommendations to hire, one key one I'll just highlight for you. Once again, all this stuff is online, is Emily Misek Jorgensen, who is our new English language arts teacher, who will be stepping in for Joni Kielberg, who will be an instructional coach in the area of literacy next year. So Emily will be stepping in. She comes to us from the Denison School District, where she's been the last 2 years. Having a little family relocation. Our husband is working at John Deere in Dubuque, so want to let you know that. Common curriculum information here. I shared some information from the National Student Clearinghouse that way, looking at our students who graduate, what they do end up going to college, and what happens that way. A few things I'm just going to highlight for you. Iowa's #1 in high school graduation rate. Remember, Bellevue is one of the top schools in the state of Iowa for graduation rate, if not the top, at that 100% some years and at the upper 95 and higher other years. So we're #1, but the state of Iowa is number 35 in 2-year or 4-year college degree attainment. And when you look at that, when you look at the difference between the high school graduation rate and the college degree attainment rate, Iowa ranks number 48 overall in the nation between, the high school graduation rate and then the amount of students who do graduate who get a 2 or 4-year college degree. Something to maybe be aware of that way. I do not have our exact data yet, but I'm sure it resembles fairly close nationally. Remember, we have about somewhere between 78 and 88% of our students go to college each year as a whole. I do have this data online under the comment highlights, so you can look at it there. That's on the front page and also be on the superintendent's page. Two things they talk about here, very important, to help your student fill out the FAFSA. That's one of the things that deters students from going to college. Another thing is if a student doesn't go to college that fall after they graduate, their likelihood of going to college decreases significantly, and the aspect of taking 4 years of math in school, regardless of what level, is very important for college degree attainment or going to college. In fact, it doesn't matter what level you take, just you need to be in 4 years of college, especially that 3rd and 4th year. Maybe it doesn't matter what level. They still want the algebra, geometry, advanced algebra, algebra 2, whatever you want to call it. But it's very important to stay within math, and then your freshman year, take math. Freshman year in college, take math, though you do not want to go away from it for a few years. So just some interesting information. Mrs. Meninger shared the audit with the board members that way. No major concerns there at all. Things are going very well. I talked about property tax rate along with Mrs. Munier about where our school is at that way. We're in fine financial situation right now. 2-3 years down the road, we're going to be making a dip down if we don't change some things. Some of that depends on state funding, which we don't know what that is. We're doing a budget. We have a public hearing on our budget on our next board meeting, April 11th at 6:30. We have a budget set, but we don't know how much money we're getting from the state. I know that may not make sense, but that's the way it is quite often here, even though the legislature is supposed to have the budget or the amount of money that schools are going to get for funding done in the first 30 days of their legislative session, which would have been roughly February 11th or February 12th. It is now March 16th, and we still do not know. So we have a budget put together that is based on money that we don't know that we're getting or not. I know that doesn't make sense. I'm just telling you the facts, okay? We have a general idea where we're going to be, but as far as saying we're going to have exactly this amount of money, I can't tell you that. No one in the state of Iowa can tell you that. But we did look at property tax rate. Right now, with a 2% increase, our tax rate would go up about 4 cents. And remember, it cannot go up any more than that, regardless of what kind of rate adjustment we have. The one thing that can change, actually, if we get more than 2%, it could go down. In fact, it could go down about 4 cents. So we are still, I'm just going to read you some tax rates around the area, of different districts around the area. We're going to be at 12.33294. Other districts in the area, 18.07, 15.15, 14.26, 11.75, 15.00, 17.60, 14.97, 16.75, 14.05, 13.19. And I have all these listed along with the school districts. My point is, we have some of the lowest tax rates in this area, and actually across the state of Iowa, our tax rates are very low. Just remember, the less money that the legislature gives schools, the more property taxes the individuals in the district end up paying that way. We're still limited on how much we can have for tax rate that way too, as far as what we can spend on students that way for equity, and I have no problem with that. So just everyone needs to recognize our tax rates are some of the lowest in this area by far, and these are listed online. They will be, in fact, they're on there right now. So we have a public hearing April 11th for that. We also subscribe to a Forecast 5 service with the Iowa Association of School Boards and Gary Sinclair, their financial advisor. Been using that. It's a great way to forecast out money that way and where we're at. We're in good financial condition right now. In the future, we will be making a dip if we don't make some changes, so that's just something to be aware of. We also talked some comment board reading and reflection, and one of those things we talked about, what is education going to look like in 10 years? I have that listed online as well. Very interesting to look at. In fact, I'll put that on Facebook and Twitter later on this morning. It's very interesting to look at what could happen. This is just a group of superintendents who met, and we talked about what could change. These are superintendents from across the nation. What could change? It's kind of interesting when you think about what could change. You know, how will I be sitting here? You know, will students be coming to school every day, or will it be alternate schedules, more personalized learning, online? You can look at some of that stuff, but it is very interesting and to think about that yourself. Legislative update I basically gave. I don't have any updates on school funding. There is some rumors out there something may happen this week, but it's now Wednesday, and I heard that at the end of last week, and I haven't heard a thing this week, so I'm not sure what that means, but my hunch is that means we may not hear anything this week. We also talked about the vision of the Bellevue schools, you know, believing in the blue and our mission that we're proposing out there. We believe real world learning opportunities build passionate and engaging experiences for student success in life. And I just want to repeat that. We believe real world learning opportunities build passionate and engaging experiences for student success in life. We're looking at that as a possible mission statement to have posted not only in our school and our social media sites, but also across our different classrooms and our community areas where students are working that way. Some upcoming events here I want to make you aware of. We're actually going to have our awards night on May 15th. That's a Sunday. I do not have an exact time, looking at possibly 5 o'clock. That's where our seniors get their awards and some athletes get awards. We also give our Silver Cord awards out for volunteer hours or community service hours that way. May 2nd, elementary concert. May 16th, 6 through 12 vocal concert. May 17th, 6 through 12 band concert. Then we have state track coming up. May 22nd, the Music Boosters are going to the Lion King production in Madison. Contact the school office, 872-4001, if you're interested in that. Ask for Mr. Sturdivant or Mr. Davies when you talk to Nicole, or just let Nicole know. And then baseball and softball season games actually start the week of May 23rd. Wow. Right now, we're scheduled to get out that last Friday before Memorial Day that way, and graduation will be the following day. The next board meeting is April 11th that way. So it gives you some information that way. Once again, most of the stuff I just talked about there is online. I want to just talk to you a couple things here just about teaching, learning, and assessing. There's an old saying about lectures. A lecture is an event where the notes of the professor pass to the notebooks of the students without going through the brains of either. Okay, think about that one for a second and how we're looking to change some things here. And it was interesting. We did walkthroughs yesterday, our instructional rounds with the two principals, and we actually were in the middle school, high school. We do those on a weekly basis typically. But just talking about lectures and what we saw yesterday, we saw very little lecture. We saw a lot of student collaborative work, and some of them were talking about how they can apply that to their real life, or what we want to call real life, how they can apply it to the real world, to the world out there, to the world they're going to be exposed to, are exposed to right now, and what they're going to be doing in life. And it goes far beyond just memorizing what was said in an election and things like that. But this is all from the book Most Likely to Succeed here by Tony Wagner and Ted Dintersmith, also the movie that we showed here. And if anyone's interested in watching that, I may have another clip of that I can show sometime. But it goes on to say here, today, motivated students can become experts on a topic in days, not weeks or years. They can find online the most compelling essays, lectures, videos, and forums. They can ask questions to people all over the world and get answers in minutes. How things have changed if you think about it that way. They can ask, quote, dumb questions without risk of embarrassment. So what kind of classroom experience will be important to kids with this powerful support team? Sitting passively in a chair listening to someone lecture about content? Memorizing math formulas and science definitions? Memorizing names and dates of historical events? worrying about the placement of accent marks when writing in a foreign language. These century-old classroom tasks are obsolete, and other than inertia, there's no reason for students to drill endlessly on things when, in the very best case, they'll be almost as good as a smartphone. While innovation poses challenges, it creates breathtaking opportunities. Our education system needs to help kids accelerate their potential in the innovation era, not hold them back. With well-designed lessons and pedagogy, we can empower kids with critical skills and help them turn passions into decisive life advantages. The role of education is no longer to teach content, but to help our children learn in a world that rewards the innovative and punishes the formulaic. So think about this, and when it goes like this, the role of education is no longer to teach simply content. We have to be able to have kids take this content, this information they're learning, with them, apply it. That's how true learning happens. And that's something we're pushing for here, and we'll continue to push for, and we're making progress. We'll go there. It's far longer than the normal that way, but it's a board meeting, Believe in the Blue. If you have any questions, let the school know. I'll be back next week in 5 minutes or less with the video next week, but just want to let everyone know that. Have a great day, everyone.